What's up guys? It's your girl Chelsea, the wannabe Hecate. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome. Today I'm here to do Mars Signs 101. This is going to be part of a series I've been doing. I've also done Moon Signs, Mercury Signs, and Venus Signs. You can find all those videos on my channel. Hopefully you like this one and you want to go check those out maybe. When we look at our Mars sign, we can find how we like to go after things that we want, how ambitious we are, whether we tend to go after things relentlessly with a lot of drive, we just have to have it, or if we're okay with the process, we're okay with details, or if it takes a while, that's all right because we've got a lot of determination and staying power. All those things can be seen by our Mars sign. How aggressive we might get, whether that's an easy thing for us or if it's easier for you to keep your cool, perhaps. I'll also be providing some famous examples of people that have Mars in whatever sign, just to kind of give you an idea of, because you know with celebrities you kind of get an idea of how they are and how they go after things, how fired up they tend to get, or whether they're more like, you know, I'll keep my cool. You can find the link for the most recent video in this series, which is Venus Signs. That'll be in the caption down below. I do a lot of other videos on transits and signs and house placements, lots of astrology related stuff. If you guys ever have any questions about anything I say in my videos or your own birth chart or something like that, you can shoot me an email or leave me a comment, a DM on Instagram, anything like that. Just feel free to reach out because I'm always looking to make new friends and work with new people. I just want to reach a larger audience. That's why I started a YouTube channel and I do the whole social media thing. So yeah. As always, the times for the different signs will be in the caption, so you can watch whatever sign you want and skip around. You don't have to rewind or fast forward. I will be organizing them by the elements today though, and going by like fire signs and then earth signs and air signs and water signs. So starting with fire signs, if you have Mars in Aries, this is where Mars finds its natural home. So you're very self-confident, you have a lot of courageousness. You're also probably very honest to the point of maybe being too honest or like blunt sometimes. Mars and Aries people very aggressively go after what they want. They are determined to get it once they have their mind set on it. They have a very strong will to win. They're very impulsive, so they make very quick decisions. They don't want to sit around and think about it. They're just gonna go. So they're very spontaneous. They don't want to like stop and smell the roses or anything like that. They make those quick decisions, but luckily for them, they tend to be decent decisions most of the time. Mars and Aries people move so fast that they just tend to be like a step ahead of everyone else. They love new challenges and they love like new projects, but the issue is that sometimes they don't see the projects through because they're already moving on to the next thing. Mars and Aries people are very irritated by indirectness. They really just want other people to be straightforward and honest with them. So if they feel like someone's beating around the bush, that's really going to get on their nerves. They're not about that. They also get very frustrated if they feel other people are like moving slowly or just they're not as fast-paced as they are. They get very frustrated by that. Some famous examples of Mars and Aries are David Letterman, Conor McGregor, Emma Stone, Patrick Kane, Emily Dickinson, Russell Crowe, and Zoe Kravitz. If you have Mars in Leo, you are probably unique in some way. You like to stand out. Mars and Leo people are never ordinary. They're very good at grabbing the attention of other people. They have a very strong desire to stand out, to be significant. They also have a strong desire to create. They usually need some kind of outlet for creative expression. Very high passion, very high ambition, and like I said, personal magnetism. They're good at drawing people to themselves. Mars and Leo people like to take risks. Leo is a fire sign, but they do also have a pretty good sense of reason to balance it out. They're usually known to have like very grand plans. They always have some sense of calling, or they're like working for something. Mars and Leo is one of the more sexual positions of Mars, so these people kind of like will ooze a sexuality, or they'll be very flirtatious maybe. I would never say something risky about signs like that unless I had that placement, just so y'all know, and I do have Mars and Leo. I'm like, check, can confirm. Mars and Leo people are going to get very frustrated with like small-mindedness and any kind of disloyalty. So they're very open-minded, they have very broad worldviews, and they're all about honesty as well. So if they find out you've been lying, yeah, that's it. Overall, they're very dynamic, very idealistic, and anything that a Mars and Leo person does brings them a sense of pride. Some famous examples of Mars and Leo are George Clooney, Beyonce, Paul McCartney, Dennis Rodman, Andrew Garfield, Salma Hayek, Quentin Tarantino, and Mila Kunis. If you have Mars in Sagittarius, you may find that you're very easily distracted. You want to explore. You have a very curious mind. You probably have a lot of different projects going on at once. These people are very playful, but when it comes down to what they believe in, they're very passionate, and Sagittarius is a fire sign, so they can get a little heated. They're very good at making first impressions. They like to meet new people usually. That's a Sagittarian thing. It's also a Sagittarian thing to be kind of independent and restless. They don't really have a lot of patience to wait anything out, which is kind of a theme with fire signs in general. Mars and Sagittarius people have to have their own space. Any kind of Sagittarius placement usually gives someone a very strong need for personal freedom. So when these people feel fenced in, they're gonna run. They don't like to feel caged or anything like that. They got to get away from the situation and get that freedom feeling back, and then they can come back to it. They'll run when things feel too serious, or they'll run when they get angry. They've just got to get away from the situation. They got to feel free for a little bit, find their sense of personal freedom, and then they come back. Some famous examples of Mars in Sagittarius are Jules Verne, Javier Bardem, Jennifer Lopez, Rob Schneider, Ice Cube, John Travolta, Sarah Paulson, and Jack Nicholson. If you have Mars in Taurus, you are probably all about the slow and steady wins the race kind of vibe. Mars and Taurus people have a lot of staying power. I would argue like the most in the zodiac. They're all about seeing things through to the end. They have a lot of determination. They succeed through that determination and through their persistence. These people are generally pretty chill, but they're those people that can be kind of scary if you get them angry. Taurus is the sign of the bull, and like a bull in a field, you know, if you don't mess with it, it's gonna leave you alone, but if you make it angry, go, like run. These people value stability. They have a lot of patience to work for what they want, like I mentioned earlier. They may also be fond of money and fond of like material possessions and having things. That's a Taurus thing since it goes along with the second house, and that's money, material values, and things like that. Taurus can be a stubborn sign, so once these people make up their mind, they're not gonna budge. It's not gonna change. That's it. They're really also not one for multitasking. They like to see the one thing through to the end, and then they move on to the next thing. These people tend to be good at making money, and they may be a big spender since, like I mentioned earlier, they tend to like money and having things, but it kind of goes hand in hand. They have a knack for attracting the money that they need because they like to spend it. Some famous examples of Mars and Taurus are J. Edgar Hoover, Seth MacFarlane, Kanye West, Harry Houdini, Jessica Alba, Shaka Khan, and Celine Dion. Mars and Virgo people are very good at keeping their passion under rein. Since Virgo is an earth sign, it tends to be more reserved. People are practical. They're all about getting things done. What sets them apart from the other earth signs when it comes to Mars is that Mars and Virgo can tend to multitask a lot, and they also might just take on too much work and overextend themselves. Either way, they're very particular. They have like a method of how they like to get things done. Their energy comes from the work that they're doing and like the projects that they have. So if they don't have projects that they're working on, they don't really know what to do with themselves. These people tend to be shy and very humble. They tend to pay attention to all the details that other people are going to forget, and they may tend to kind of be a little bit of a perfectionist. Some famous examples of Virgo Mars are Matthew Gray Gubler, Ben Affleck, Grace Jones, Princess Diana, Blake Lively, Ariana Grande, and Dirk Nowitzki. Mars in Capricorn probably has the strongest self-control when it comes to the Mars placements. They also have a very strong ability to endure, kind of like Taurus Mars. If you have Mars in Capricorn, you probably have like more of a low-key energy. These people are more subtle and they're more focused on their work. They have this really strong drive to succeed. They also have a very strong need to stay in control, and they really don't like any kind of disorderliness. They're very disciplined people. They are always working towards some kind of goal, and they have a very realistic view for their future. They have a great ability to plan for that future because they're all about like making sure they have stability. Unfortunately, their sense of responsibility can sometimes be so strong that they're just like too hard on themselves, or they expect too much of themselves. Some famous examples of Capricorn Mars are Lady Gaga, Steven Spielberg, Manny Pacquiao, Jerry Seinfeld, Keegan-Michael Key, Mac Miller, and Anne Hathaway. If you have Mars in Gemini, you probably have a more scattered and unfocused kind of energy about you, because Gemini is a very nervous, kind of restless sign that's always moving to one thing or another. Mars and Gemini people need a lot of variety, a lot of changes to keep them on their toes, keep the energy up. Gemini is the sign of communication, so these people tend to use their words as weapons when they're angry, or just when they get upset in general. They're going to want to get it off their chest and they're not going to keep it inside. They're very good at debates. They're good at winning arguments because, like I said, they're good with words. They're good at winning other people over with their words. They probably actually have like a pretty voice too. Mars and Gemini people tend to have pretty voices. They may have like nervous hands, or just like they just have this restless energy about them, so they might like play an instrument or play video games. Like they have to do something with their hands because they're very restless. They also have to be careful of spreading themselves too thin, much like their Mars and Virgo counterparts. Gemini and Virgo kind of go together. They're both ruled by Mercury, and so they both tend to spread themselves too thin and take on a lot of work. They like to multitask. Some famous examples of Gemini Mars are Joan Jett, Taika Waititi, Natalie Portman, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Ashton Irwin, Brendan Urie, and Karlie Kloss. If you have Mars in Libra, you are probably very good at making an impression with other people. Libra is a very diplomatic sign, very charming. They're very good at compromising and keeping the peace, a good negotiator usually. Mars and Libra people definitely need to reflect and take time before they make a decision. They probably like to weigh out the pros and cons, since Libra is a sign of the scales, you know, the balance. These people tend to have literary or artistic talent. The crux with Mars and Libra is that these people can be a little passive aggressive because ultimately they want to keep the peace, so they don't want to confront you about what's bothering them. They can also be a little indecisive. That's a Libra thing, but they will get things done eventually. Some famous examples of Libra Mars are Adam Driver, Kristen Ritter, Kirsten Dunst, Jason Derulo, John Lennon, Lisa Kudrow, and Seth Rogen. If you have Mars in Aquarius, you probably have a very original worldview. These people tend to have like a little bit of a rebellious streak. They really like to surprise people. They definitely like to bend the rules, or just, you know, kind of introduce their own rules. They struggle though between like wanting to do things alone and wanting to get involved in group activities, because Aquarius is a very humanitarian sign and they want to have a connection with like their fellow man and help them out, but at the same time they can be very emotionally detached in a way that some zodiac signs just can't or don't. They probably really enjoy mental, intellectual pursuits and things like that. That's an Aquarian thing. Mars and Aquarius people are those people who have like a method to the madness, and like other people may not see it very easily. They're very creative about getting what they want. They're willing to improvise and adapt, and they're very content to just let other people be. They're those kind of people who are like, I'm going to give you your space and you give me my space to just do my thing. Can't tell if those are fireworks or gunshots. I feel like if they were gunshots, I would have heard somebody scream by now. Who are we talking about? Some famous examples of Aquarius Mars are Sir Ian McKellen, Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Judd Apatow, Michelle Obama, Hozier, Adam Scott, and Emilia Clarke. If you have Mars in Cancer, you're probably a lot more peaceful and chill than most Mars signs. These people never want to like start a fight or anything. They would prefer to just settle any conflict peacefully and humanely. They have very great strength of will though, almost like Mars in the Earth signs. So Mars and Cancer people are all about success through like, it's like the waves of the ocean. That's the Cancer thing. And it's like, it's just repeated assault. You know, the waves will eventually wear down whatever they keep battering against. Is that a good... They may not like change much or confrontation. They can be passive aggressive. At the end of the day though, Mars in Cancer is just so protective, and they're deeply loyal. They deeply care about what they love and who they love. They have a usually like calm strength about them. They're going to be moved into action through their emotions and their moods. So once something messes up that calm that they have about them, that's when they're going to be like, okay, I got to do something about this. Some famous examples of Cancer Mars are Chester Bennington, Taissa Farmiga, Reese Witherspoon, Nick Jonas, Dave Franco, William Shakespeare, and Penelope Cruz. If you have Mars in Scorpio, you probably have a lot of imagination and creativity. These people love to challenge themselves. They're very intense and very passionate. They're very persistent, but it's like in a quiet way. They have this like calm on the surface about them. Mars and Scorpio people find it very easy to see like subtle hidden motivations of people. They find it easier to read between the lines. In doing so, they can rely very heavily on their gut feelings. They're usually pretty good. They're always working towards something. There is no wasted movement or wasted energy with Mars and Scorpio. They have very well-disciplined effort. One thing that I think is kind of cool about Mars and Scorpio is they can be attracted to professions involving danger, or professions involving like, you know, death-defying like stunts and stuff like that. That's like a Mars and Scorpio thing. Some famous examples of Scorpio Mars are Joaquin Phoenix, Kurt Cobain, Billy Corgan, SZA, Norman Reedus, Abby Jacobson, Dave Grohl, and Aubrey Plaza. If you have Mars in Pisces, this is the highest imagination placement when it comes to the Mars sign. A lot of artists and writers and actors have Mars in Pisces. Pisces is a very passive sign. It's the fish, so they're very content to go with the flow and kind of see where life takes them. They, oddly enough, have this knack for attracting influential friends, though, that tend to help them either gain money or just gain advancement, whatever, you know, they kind of need. These people can be moody, they can change their mind a lot, but they are happiest when they have their creative outlet to express themselves with, because like I said, they just have a very, very high imagination. They're also very compassionate. Any kind of Pisces placement usually gives the person a compassionate streak and they want to help others out. They're very sympathetic to the woes and plights of other people or those less fortunate than them. Some famous examples of Pisces Mars are Dev Patel, Stephanie Beatriz, Bad Bunny, Tina Turner, LeBron James, Jessica Chastain, Sophie Turner, and Bob Dylan. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about what I had to say about your Mars sign, and if you were surprised by any of the famous people who you share a Mars sign with. Like I said before, if you ever have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave me a comment or shoot me an email. I look forward to hearing from some of you guys. If you aren't following me on Instagram, please consider checking me out and maybe giving me a follow. I do cool tarot stuff over there, and I post all my videos over there as well. And thank you for watching me and taking the time to check me out. It means a lot. I'll be back with more videos soon. Make sure you check out the Walter Mercado documentary on Netflix. Tell your friends about me, leave me comments and talk to me. Love you, bye.